Well, hopefully the camera's going to start behaving. Um, hey everyone, how's it going? You good? We'd spend some time in the Met Cockpit whilst we talk about what the plan is for tonight. So let me just bring up YouTube's comments as well. And yeah, explain what's going on, what the plan is. It's, the camera's cutting out, which is why I was a bit confused. Right, so the plan for the evening is to come up with the colour schemes that are going to be painting on the Bretonnians. Fairly simple. So I've got preloaded up some Photoshop and a couple of websites and a couple of PDFs we're going to be using to reference to come up with colour schemes. Over on Twitch, you'll notice there are some redemptions for your grapes or your channel points, whatever you want to call them. How this is going to work is we're going to try and keep within some rules and some frameworks. So the heraldry has to be, that you come up with, has to be in line with that of Bordello. So it has to include blue, or it has to include yellow, as those are the two primary colours of Bordello. And then we'll be following the rules for heraldry for the Bretonnians from the 5th edition army book. And we'll see what we can come up with. So over on Twitch, if you spend 50,000 points, you get to come up with the colours for a knight. In terms of the different roles, because we've got the musician, the standard bearer, and the champion, as well as regular knights, it's going to be first come, first serve on those. And then for 75,000 points, it'll be Pegasus Knights. So you get to choose the heraldry and colours for a Pegasus Knight. The reason why it's more is because the colour of the actual Pegasus itself is going to be a lot more important. And then at 100,000, which should be showing, it doesn't look like it is, I'll double check in a moment, that it is there. No, it is there. Not sure why it isn't showing on my screen. For 100,000, you will be able to choose a Knight of the Realm, you know, one of the regular guys, and have their heraldry be applied to one of my men-at-arms units, as I'll be really tying in and leaning into the idea that the knights are bringing their men-at-arms, which they are, and I think it's a fun opportunity to...
New donation from aberrant_mind.
Hey, thanks for the donation. And I think it's a very fun way to... That's really kind of you. Yes, I decided to wear my watch for a change, and I get the notifications of how much people actually send, so thank you so much for doing that, that's really kind. So yeah, at 100,000 points, you can choose the colour scheme for Men-at-Arms and the knight who brought those Men-at-Arms with him. So, should be fairly straightforward for those of you who want to take part. In the meantime, I have plans to buy lots and lots of knights, so whilst this is going on, I'll be designing my own, and we'll go through and do a Knight of the Realm myself, to show you guys what that's going to look like. And then, if people do decide they'd like to design a colour scheme for a knight, then we'll start doing those as well. Yeah, I mean, what? I'll be buying Warhammer? I know, right? So, let's hop over to my screen. Actually, hang on a second. I want to tidy this up, make sure that I'm not accidentally leaking any personal information, because that would be really awkward. No, okay. So, right, let's hop over to the gaming page. Okay, so sorry for everyone on YouTube. You're just not going to have the option to take part in this. Blame blame YouTube on and Google on not having fun and engaging features. I can't really do much about that. but the music's still quite loud, hasn't it? Alright, let's bring that down a bit. So, what I've got here is the page from the Bretonnian 5th edition army book here with the horses on, so we can start drawing the patterns on for the heraldries. And on the other page, we have the 5th edition army book in all of its wonderful mist-coloured glory. Because we'll be following the rules of this, on top of the stuff I'm adding on to try and keep it in theme with the new Bretonnian lore. I mean, Connie, you can do the big brain thing of spending your points over on Twitch and then coming back here and watching on YouTube. So you can be really clever with that. So when it comes to making heraldry, for Bretonnians, it mostly follows the rules of heraldry in real life. So there's some examples here, although some things have changed since this was made, and I do want to keep that in mind. So green is not a creative colour. And green is not going to be a colour which you could choose for any of the knights I currently have. I don't have any Grail Knights, and therefore I'm not going to be putting any green on any of these knights. My Pegasus Lord, on the Royal Pegasus, he might have some green on him, because he would have the Grail Vow, and therefore would be allowed to incorporate green into his heraldry. Otherwise, what you see here in its mist-coloured glory is pretty much, you know, acceptable. In terms of like heraldry terminology, this is probably going to feel like a bit of deja vu for anyone who remembers the Imperial Knight streams, which are pretty similar to this. So white and yellow are the two colours which can go over normal colours. Is green reserved for a Green Knight? It's reserved for people who have taken the Grail Vow. Those who have drunk from the Lady's Chalice may use green in their heraldry, is the current law, which is why this is a little bit out of date. So, typical colours you'll find in heraldry are blue, yellow, black, red. There could be made a case for purple. I'm still 50-50 on if I want to have purple in here or not. If someone chooses to include purple in their heraldry, then sure. I'll allow it, but it's something I'll kind of discourage personally. And in terms of like heraldry patterns, as it kind of says here, basic heraldry patterns are what you'd see here. The Grail Knights and Questing Knights and the Dukes and Lords, they all typically have the more fancy patterns. That's not to say there wouldn't be some kind of fancy patterns on the Knights of the Realm, but probably not going to be too common. About gold. Yeah, gold and yellow are the same thing. So in terms of like how it works, white and yellow are referred to as gold and silver. And gold and silver are referred to as metals. Whereas green, red, blue, pink, you know, any other colour is referred to as a colour. A colour is not allowed to be put on top of another colour. And the same with metal. A metal can't be put on top of another metal, but a metal can be put on top of a colour, or a colour can be put on top of a metal. So, in the examples I got here, we've got this shield here with a red stripe across the white. This is okay. This one here, I've got the black background with a yellow cross over the top. That's okay. This one here, yellow background or blue cross, that's okay. So that's like one of the main like heraldic rules we'll be considering. So, I'm going to bring up our good old friend Armoria. And one thing that's really nice about this website is you can just generate a large like batch of heraldries like this, and then work from one. And you can also change some of the settings here as well. So let's find a shield that kind of matches with Bretonnian shields to start with. Could be Old French. Makes sense. And then we can change the color frequencies here. So we want no green. I'm going to disable the purple options as well, because I don't want them to be default options. And then we are going to reroll these and see if any interesting ones come up. So in terms of like personal rules we're going to have, every heraldry has to have blue or yellow on it, as well as the two main colours of Bordello. And I'd like people to try and keep things ocean themed as well, as my army is focused around the city of Bordello more than just the dukedom of Bordello. I've also noticed that the shading gradient, yeah, we want no gradients for now. So a quick note on Mousillon. Mousillon in this time period is painted blue with white fleur-de-lis on them. In other words, the Royal French or the Parisian French. Which I think is really interesting because they fall from being, you know, the Kingdom of France to being an undead legion ruled over by the vampire Duke of Lyonesse. And I think it's done a fairly good job here as just like from the basics of making sure that the heraldries don't break the rules. So I'm going to have a quick scan over, see which ones I think are interesting. Ones which I think would be a fun painting project. And go from there. And honestly, this one's standing out to me, so I'll go and edit this one. And what I want to do is change the field pattern to something a bit more simple. Something which I know I'll be able to paint a bit easier than... Because, like, yes, these exist. And no, I will not be painting stuff like that, okay? It's like... This is pushing it, and this is something I would be okay with. In terms of like actually painting these onto the knights. And one thing I'm also gonna do, oh no, that needs to be yellow, is change this blue. Because I want it to be a bit darker. Also a bit more oceany coloured, I think. Oh yeah. It's like, this as an example would be something I'd be very happy to do. And something I can work with. And in terms of like how the heraldry is showing up, and like how like this like translates into meaning, the blue would be like a Bordello Duke. So let's mess around with this. So yeah, let's go for an anchor. Alright, something very simple. So we want L and N. There we go. So the blue would be the Bordello origins, like you know, one half of the family is from Bordello. The yellow and red in this situation reminds me a lot of Estalia, which is the neighboring border prince kingdom. which is also a fun one to have as a reference, as the Estalians and the Bretonnians recognize each other's nobility, and they're the only two kingdoms which recognize each other's nobility. So a Duke of Bordello is equal in the eyes of the Bretonnians and the Estalians to a Duke of... I'm trying to think of a town in Estalia now. I should know. Book of Grudges is probably going to kill me for not knowing. Oh, Magritta. There we go. Like, the Duke of Magritta and the Duke of Bordello would be seen as peers to each other. And, I think I want to... No. Where's the red? Let's change this from more of a... more pleasant, darker red. Is it not going to update? Yeah, changing it to black also looks quite nice as well. Why it's not updating to a nicer red, I don't know, but hey. What heraldry would make sense for the... I think I'd leave the Estalian, the Estalian side as it is. Or maybe a white tower would be cool. And would also be a good opportunity to discuss like when it's okay to break the rules of heraldry as well. So a question about quarterly. Could you have metallics and colours in the same corners so long as symbols and quarters are opposite? Yes. I think I understand what you're trying to say. Right. Let's just send it with this one. So we'll download the PNG. Cool. Come on. And we'll put that. Yeah. Cool. Computer right now. Okay. Let's start. There we go. Let's drag that in. Right with the energy. Cool. It's been ages since I used Photoshop. I think the last time I used Photoshop was... Actually, I don't know. a long time ago. Anyway. Doesn't matter too much for now. Let's choose a more pleasant yellow. And what it came up with. Stop. Larger. Still larger, I think. It's close enough. Yeah, let's choose a nice red. Yeah, you kind of get the idea of what we're doing here. Bucket, we want the yellow. So yeah, hey Faz and hey Jiggle, how's it going? Oh, yeah, we've taken the heraldry from Amoria, and we're now working out how that would apply on the actual knight itself. No worries. And then on the opposite side, these colours would probably be opposite. So where it's yellow here would be red. But when it comes to these quarters, so this back quarter being blue, this front being the Spanish flag, as it basically is, these would be opposite. So the front right would be blue, and this would be probably a red central stripe, and then yellow on the top and bottom. And then the opposite side of this might be red and yellow as well. Oh, yeah, I suppose I can... I'm too lazy. But you kind of get the idea, and then we'll apply this to one of the bretonnians. And then once I've worked out how I actually want to do the heraldries, I'll look into like getting decal sheets printed. If I ever pick up Bretonnia, I'm going to base it off my own personal family heraldry, red and white. Yeah, that's a really cool idea. For me, it's like I've always loved the city of Bretonnia. The city of city of Bordello, and the lore for them. So like, I really want to focus on making an army which looks like it would fit that. Is why yeah, we're sticking to those rules. Also, does anyone have any clue what the Bing wallpaper of the day is meant to be about? Whilst we're just looking at it briefly. Because it's definitely a colourful choice of things. Catch you later, Abraham. So I suppose, yeah, that's a question. Is there anyone who wants to come up with me a color scheme? So I use the Microsoft wallpapers, so the Bing wallpapers, and each day I get a randomly generated background image on my computer. And today's is that. Whatever that is. Okay, it's only 8 nights on the page, so I'll do this twice. Okay, so how did we wrap this? Possibly. I have no clue about American stuff. I'm assuming I'm being like potentially offensive by just dismissing it as American stuff, because it sounds like it's probably not American in origin. Yeah, and Carnival. Yeah, it's like we don't have anything like that here in the UK, so. Anyway, right. Does anyone want to come up with a heraldry? So again, over on Twitch in the channel points redemption tab, there is the option to come up with a color scheme for a Knight of the Realm, or a Pegasus Knight, or a Knight and their men at arms. And again, for those of you who are watching on YouTube, sorry, YouTube just doesn't have any kind of facility to do cool stuff like this. So, you're fucked, I guess. Yep, goodbye grapes. Cool, so a Pegasus Knight. So the reason why Pegasus Knight costs a little bit more, the Pegasus Knight, you can also choose the colors for Pegasus Knight, well, for the Pegasus as well. If you could send me an image of the kind of horse you want it to be based on, and or the bird you want the wings to be based on, that'd be great. You can do that through Discord. So I can keep that in mind. And then, yeah, for the heraldry, let's dive back into Armoria. And it also saves your color changes as well, so you can see the red's updated, the blue's updated. So I suppose for a start, are there any that stand out to you as something you like the look of? In terms of the existing heraldries here. Third row, third. This one. Okay. Is there a... need some blue. Okay. Do you like the pattern in the background, or just the placement of the shells? Also, can I background color? What's a bit more legible? Also not gonna hurt the eyes. Yeah, let's do that. I'd replace the black with blue. I like the pattern, but maybe tweak it so it's not so cut off. Yeah, okay, so the field to blue, and then if we change the charge, which is the term for the logos, we change it to the L and M position in this. There we go. Okay, is there anything else you want to tweak or change about it? With the seashells, yes I can, but they do move as a pair. And I can rotate them around, I can also shift them left or right. And up and down. Well, strictly speaking it is. Also, I'm not a fan of the yellow. That's a better yellow for Borderlo. Right, so yeah, we'll commit to that. I think that's a bit nicer. Okay. So we can then save that. I don't like that it keeps doing that. Right. The second one, we can pull the color from this one will be fairly simple. Let's drag the heraldry in. This one's going to be a really interesting one to try and paint. The question is, do we do it so this diagonal white is equal on every side? Or one that goes straight through? For Pegasus, I have an idea and we'll send you an image, see if you think. Yeah? If you have an idea. I mean, the only downside to your heraldry idea is it's basically not going to be that visible or obvious. Unfortunately, due to how the Pegasus is, but it will be a lot more obvious on the rider, I think. Well, no. So Pegasus is only on the back half. So let's grab the paintbrush. Shrink this down. Yeah, geocaching by families. Germanic heraldry. Well, let's have a look. Yeah, well, if you have the channel points to spend on it, we can make that a thing. Definitely abides by the rules. Well, most of them. But it is also one of those ones where you could make the exception for. And yeah, I think your idea, Faz, for the Pegasus would work. We'll just colour it in for now, Ian Bow. It's only that rear section which he used. I don't like how there we go, that's a bit tidier. I'm trying most representation of my friends. Nice. Well, but you have some information still. Not nice that information was lost. You know, I dare say it, Faz, but the heraldry you've come up with looks rather Scottish. For your Pegasus Knight. I'm never going to get it perfect, so I'm going to stop bothering now. Especially if it's only about rear section, which matters. So in terms of like how it's going to look on the miniature, like I'm hoping I can find a way to not 3D print them, but get the decals printed. Oh, come on, just stop being fussy. Alright. No, that's not the one I wanted. There we go. And so, yeah, all the knights have their heraldries. On their Knight's Guardian anyway, so hopefully I can eventually get around to finding someone who can help us 3D. Well, not. I keep saying 3D printing because I'm so used to saying that. Print. Hopefully we'll be able to get someone who can actually print the decal sheets out for these individual heraldries. At worst case scenario, the individual symbols. Or I'd come up with some kind of like simplified version. Oh yeah, I should give you a rough idea of what it will look like. And then on the knights themselves, it will be matching how the horse looks. So their heraldry will be quartered. So for the case of the Istalian knight that I came up with, the one with the blue and then the yellow and red stripes, that kind of quartering pattern will be applied to his clothing as well. Is why we've been leaving the knights unattached from their horses. So you can actually paint the knights. And then their shields also have their heraldries on as well. And what I'll be doing until I can get the heraldries printed out is painting the shields in the correct colours and correct places at the very least. If I get told it's unfeasible to print out the shields as they are, then yeah, I'll try and find some way to simplify it with the people who made them. Speaking of which, I should probably start making notes. So that's one of our 3 Pegasus Knights. Once Faz is back, we'll ask him which of the knights he wants them to be. Because there is one holding a banner. Yeah, why not? You do it. Who else would like to have a go at designing our own heraldry? And spend the channel points to make me paint it. So Faz, in terms of the Pegasus Knight models I have, do you want one of the regular Pegasus Knights or the one holding the banner? The banner it's holding will probably be painted up in the more traditional colours of Bordeaux, so blue and yellow, but would you want to be the knight holding it? The horses may or may not be completely identical on all the Pegasus Knights. Okay, well, I'd say there's a knight with a banner and a regular knight who both have identical horses, which I'd say look slightly more floofy than the other one in the unit. And hey Goose Rossi, thank you for a follow. Thinks I need more points to up myself into a Pegasus. How many points do you have, Ben? Okay, cool. $64.8. That is quite close, isn't it? Okay, sound off in chat. How many points do you have? Also, hi Hugh over on YouTube. Been far too long since I caught one of your streams to go do it once. Which ones? Yeah, that's fair. Welcome on in. So yeah, I'm streaming on both YouTube and Twitch, but because of how limited and boring and, you know, anti-viewer YouTube is, I'm making use of features built into Twitch in order to try and give you guys the opportunity to have some influence, because I really like that feature. I like that you guys are able to get some rewards and benefits just out of being here and spending time. And yeah, I'm doing good, Hugh. Hopefully you are as well. So, how many Knights Arrows? 8 on a sheet. There's 6 in a lance. 12, 15. And then the Baron itself. I need to do 2 of these pages for the current army. Quite people here. Also, I just noticed the date on this as well. 1996. This was made. Also, things you're not likely to see on a Games Workshop publication. Managed today, finish. Build down Bushwhacker A10 Mac. Need more Seabells and general XP to improve its round skills. Yeah, it's the Bushwhacker P2, isn't it, Ben? The Rack Bushwhacker. I'm still really annoyed that there's no champions which have quirks for rotary autocannons. Because that thing looks like an A10. Like, I think it's actually really disappointing they haven't made a champion with huge amount of jump jet perks and rotary autocannon perks. I think it would be really funny to have one with a high jump distance and a rotary autocannon. But right. Thinking. As there's not many of you around, and I kind of want to make some decent progress on this, I think what I might do, and this might bite me in the ass immediately because Hamish is now here, is reduce the channel points needed for the knights. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. So I want to have like at least enough knights around. Like I at least want to be able to like next week start painting a Lance of Knights. And ideally the Pegasus Knights because they're gonna take a while. So what I think I'll do for this stream only is firstly refund Mick and Faz the points, and then I'm going to rebalance the points to be a bit cheaper, and then you can buy them again, and we'll do them in order in which people originally did. So, alright, Faz and Mick, there you go, there's your points back. And I'll switch over to this, so Knights of Realm, let's... So it's Knight around Pegasus Knight. Yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to drop a 0 from the end of the points. Although for the men-at-arms, one, that's still going to stay pricey. I don't really want that to be redeemed too quickly. There you go, it should be a bit cheaper. So, we have our second Pegasus Knight to do. With Bensidius. Yes, a men-at-arms is an entire squad of the peasants and their accompanying knight. So basically how that will work is you will get one of the Knights of the Realm painted up, like one of the two examples we've got here. So firstly my example, which is the Estalian Knight. And then we also have Phasmatodius's Pegasus Knight heraldry. So it's like, for example, if I had chosen to redeem the points for the men-at-arms, I would then try and apply this heraldry as reasonably as possible to a men-at-arms unit. So I have 2 men-at-arms spear units and the archers that all need colour schemes, and the colour schemes are going to be tied to one of the Knights of the Realm. Which is the 2 12-man units I have. So, drop the heraldry. Oh, Ben picked one earlier on Discord. Let's have a look. Okay, so we need to do some slight tweaking to it. because we need to make sure. I'm talking to Ben here. The primary colors have to include blue or yellow. And currently yours is black and white with a red symbol and a yellow symbol. So you need to tweak it. Thankfully it's here. And I will say I'm not going to be able to paint this. So we would have to simplify that down. To maybe a line or wave or something. And then, yeah, do you want to change the black to blue, or to yellow, or for white to blue or yellow? And also, if there are any other changes you want to make. For white to yellow, okay. It's giving me very strong Avalon vibes now. And are there any other changes you'd like to make? So we can easily change any of the logos, so like change the star to something, or the gauntlet to something, to change the color of the gauntlet. And star to purple. There's two different purples as well. And in terms of what Hamish suggested, the Mr. Blobby color scheme wouldn't work because the Mr. Blobby color scheme is primarily pink. Yes, it has yellow on it, but that doesn't work to the heraldic rules we are going for, unfortunately. And is there any other changes you want to make to this one, Ben? That should be my heraldry. Cool. Dragvator. Why does it fight me so much? That's really annoying. And really offensive as well. It's like, why? Why does it do that? Okay, so we have our 3 Pegasus Knights fan. So, right, just before I lose track, I think that's... Right. And I guess that's... Right. Okay. I didn't think of that. Hamish, what of those three options would you like to keep? um, as I'd like to try and keep to one knight per viewer. So, do you want a Knight of the Realm, a Pegasus Knight, or a Knight and their men at arms? Okay. And do you want that men at arms unit to be ruled by a Pegasus Knight or a Knight of the Realm? So Pegasus Knights of the on Pegasus, Knights of the Realm are my normal troop choice. Okay, so what I'll do is I will refund you the Knights of the Realm points, all 5,000 of those, and we'll leave the Pegasus Knight and the Men at Arms one as the redeems. And for Pegasus Knight, I'm going to pause redemptions on those until Faz is back. That's not what I wanted to do. Alright. Let's do Ben's first, and then we'll do your one. So. How is that? What? Okay. Right. At least this one will be, like, so far, then Sidious's is going to be the nicest one to actually paint. That's just straight, simple, nice colours which go down nicely with the paintbrush. Ooh, that doesn't sound fun, Nick. Hopefully you're okay. Yeah, I figured that might happen. Alright. So, first we need a swatch of yellow. Paint those in nice and simple. And we just need a black line across the top, because that's how the heraldry would apply. Probably change that to like a little bit, right, for the sake of visibility. No, that Pegasus Knight, it's going to be very nice and easy to paint. I'm looking forward to that one. Also, Ben, if you could send me a image of the horse and bird, if you have a preference on like bird colors for wings and the horse, in a message on Discord, so I know what to reference when it comes to actually painting the horse itself. If you have a preference, that is. And yeah, are you happy with the placement of the colors? Because I mean, that's like how it would be, realistically, based off how the rules of heraldry work. We can tweak it a bit if you aren't too happy with it. I just want to give you a rough idea of where the heraldry would actually place. So do you want the horse to be black as well then? So other options for the heraldry as well is it could be all black one side, all yellow the other, or we could do black and yellow quartering on the barding as well. Those are other options. With it being 50-50, so like the left hand side could be all black, the right hand side could be all yellow, or like a front half black, rear half yellow in terms of barding. Maybe all I've done here is just translate it directly onto the barding, but there are other options when it comes to barding. Okay, there we go. That's what I wanted. So I accidentally closed YouTube chat. That was a bit of a mistake. Is there a link to heraldry generate? Or it's called Armoria. So armor spelled incorrectly, so O-R and then I-A at the end. Top half black, lower half yellow. Top half black, lower half yellow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I suppose that's another thing. I should probably just paint the saddle colour, so there's no more confusion of what's going on here. Nope. So that's where the saddles are. Let's quickly block those in. Okay. And then yeah, for the actual like Pegasus itself, send me like a couple of image references of the horse that you want the actual Pegasus itself to look like, and if you have a preference on what color the wings should be, like a reference of like a bird with that like color pattern as well would be good. Say for example, this is the reference image Faz has sent me for the horse in which he wants his Pegasus to be based on. Okay, right. Time to rip the band-aid off. Hamish. Are there any heraldries currently on the screen, which aren't someone else's, which you like the look of? As a basis, so a recap. This one here, this is Phasmatodius's. This is the example one I came up with. And, where's Ben's? And this one's Ben's. Are there any ones which stand out to you as like a good reference? Or like the start for a colour scheme? And, I want to change that to something a bit more fitting for the, oh, no, there we go. Oh, see, if none of them are, like, relevant, and, like, none of them stand out, we'll just make them from scratch. Three to the right side. This one. This red and white one. Right, this one, yeah? No, opposite. What? Oh, this one. Okay. I'll do that for now. Right. I suppose it has to be white, doesn't it? So we do have a couple of different lion options. So I have this. So as that one. There's this one. Okay, so this one's number one. This one's number 2. This one's number 3. And this one's number 4. And there's also this one, which I'm going to refer to as number 5. And this one, which is going to be number 6. To my knowledge, those are all the lions. Yeah. So the plan is going to be, I'm going to try and get decal sheets made with the symbols. Either if I end up having to print that myself or commission someone to do it. And I mean, if you want to do a lion head like this, I actually have the decal sheets already from the Imperial Knights. So if you're happy with that, that would save me a huge amount of time. Hey, thanks for the raid, Ahana. Oh, come on in. We're coming up with heraldries for my bretonnians. One thing I do want to change is with the bend. Just slightly. That's not a pen. There we go. Just tweak that slightly. There we go. To that. Cool. Alright, so yeah, let's save that file. And then we can go back to Photoshop. Drag that in. There we go. Right, this one's going to be an interesting one to fit onto a heraldry, isn't it? Alright, let's start by selecting barding. I guess the first one is going to be the diagonal stripe, isn't it? Of black. I guess smaller stripes of blue and yellow. I guess that's how we'd do this one. This is going to be interesting to try and paint. I'm glad I only have to do this for like half of a Pegasus. Because the Bardian only applies to half of the horse on a Pegasus. I will say as well, the chance of me actually getting it this small and this fine probably won't happen. But I'll definitely make a strong effort to make it obvious that the black stripe is significantly larger than the blue and yellows. And I guess for the banner, it's going to be I guess a relatively similar, well, for the men at arms, I guess it'll probably be like a combination mostly black, but then with blue and yellow over the top as well. In terms of Knights of the Realm, I have 12 Knights of the Realm to paint, so in 2 separate units. As I have lances of 6. How do I do the black stripe over the... I mean, it's not important because the Pegasus don't have this head section, but how would it be done? That's the question. Also, Hamish, which unit of men-at-arms would you like to be your own? I like the idea of it going across the eyes. The thing that annoys me about this color scheme so much is I've definitely seen something very similar at a reenactment before. Yeah, well, I do feel like I've been robbed somewhat by the creation of this color scheme. So if a horse isn't named something like Bandit, I'm going to be disappointed. And then I think for these... For these, I think this would just be simple blue and yellow, wouldn't it? So it's close enough. Image, edit, transform, scale. Alright, the 4 knights we have so That's a good point. Why is this so much more pale in yellow? Anyway. Who was next? It was Mick. So you say it's actually going to behave. Oh, it did. Wow, that's amazing. I've decided to be black-eyed. No clue. Right. So I have a 3 Pegasus Knights, now a unit of men-at-arms. So, what we're going to do is head... I'm glad someone's going for a normal colour scheme. So you hit back. This is Phasmatodius's one. This is Ben's. This is one I came up with, and that's one Hamish just came up with. Are there any of the other heraldries which stand out to you as like a reference or a basis to work from? If not, we can make something up from the from the ground up. Under these... Well, this one. Okay. What do you want to do to it? And I've done the thing again where I've forgotten completely about YouTube Chat. There we go. I'll be trying to freehand those lines, Max. They won't be as thin as they are on Hamish's Herald, well, the Bardian of Hamish's horse. But yeah, we'll definitely be trying to give the impression of the heraldry. change the stars to crescents. Okay. Do we want it to be like elven crescent? Well, I suppose that is just a normal crescent, isn't it? It also makes sense because there will be an elf detachment to this. I'm just going to turn them white just for my own curiosity now, but they can be whatever colour you want them to be. By the exception of green. Green is banned. Yeah, and then swap the yellow to blue. Okay. Oh. How do I undo? I thought I was changing that to blue. And then the red to yellow. Okay. Like that. That's cool, like moons above the ocean line. Yeah. Now add a wolf and a snake in the area. Okay. We can try. Add a charge. What kind of wolf? So we have. I'm gonna just color it white for now, just so I can see it. And then it'll probably be in the Q position. I suppose. Oh, makes sense. So we have this as a wolf option, this as a wolf option, and this. Oh, I suppose so. So those were 4 options, okay? So option 1 is this one, option 2 is this one, option 3 is that one, and option 4 is that one. And yeah, so back to what Mick said, sorry, Maximilian said. It's what the colours of Bordeaux are meant to represent, the beach and the ocean, which is why it just coincidentally happens to be a flipped version of the Ukrainian flag. Hamish, so the colour scheme we've got for you, assuming you're okay with it, is this. Obviously I couldn't be bothered to do the diagonals properly. That's basically what we've got. in terms of like how precise I'm able to get like that number of like strokes and stuff on. We have to see like how well I'm capable of painting it on the day. Which unit of men-at-arms would you like to be your men-at-arms? So I have 2 units of spearmen. One's with brimmed helmet. So we got 2 units of spearmen, 1 unit of archers. Of the spearmen, one of them has brimmed helmets, the other doesn't. Which unit of men-at-arms would you like to be your unit of men-at-arms? The brimmed spears, okay. Of course you choose one, or I have to pick a fucking heraldry machine. Right. Okay, right. Back to someone who's been a little bit nicer to me. Mick, what you wanted a snake as well? That's not a snake. That's a holy lamb. So I'm just making the assumption you want them to be this way around. Excellent. And I've just chosen the colours, obviously feel free to change the colours. I'm so glad I recently went on a binge, a binge shop of masking tape of different sizes. For the shields of men-at-arms, it's going to be thankfully quite nice to just do the masking. For the barding, it's going to be an interesting adventure. Yeah, well, that's okay, Nick. Take your time. And also, please look after yourself. I was starting to get like some Telian vibes from the use of snake. Like it's like a Telian like kind of vibes from a heraldry. I kind of want to do something to the heraldry here, which wouldn't make sense or be allowed. But I think would look cool. I'm going to keep it in mind for when we do Grail Knights. I think that's the best thing to do. Okay, a purple snake. Oh god, I can two-tone. We're not doing two-tone on it. So we've got this purple, a royal purple, or we can have like a more like My Emperor's Children kind of purple. Out of curiosity, I mean, no. Yeah, it's an option, I guess. I don't know, maybe not like a nice even number. Oh yeah. Maximilian has suggested over on YouTube, the serpent facing wolf could represent the sea wolf ship conquering the serpent, representing the ocean with dangers, etc. Yeah. Okay. Are you happy with the positioning of the wolf and the serpent? I can flip their positions around. So like the wolf could be on the other side as well. What I think I might do, if you're happy with them being on the same sides that they are, I think I might bring them a bit closer. No, there is no falling to Slaanesh. There's no corruption or heresy within my knights. Max. Alright, step that in 3. There you go. Bring that down to 15. There we go. That looks a bit neater, I think. Wolf is killing that snake. Yeah. Okay, so are you happy with this to be the final design? I'm really hoping we get a high elf transfer sheet because that would actually make doing this heraldry quite good. Yes, cool. And let's save the PNG. Okay, save. Right, and back to Photoshop. This one's going to be nice and easy to transfer across. I'll catch you later, Ben. Have a good one. It's loosely based on my family's actual heraldry. Nice. That's like I said it earlier. For Mr. Jiggle, using your own family's heraldry for your Bretonnians is a wonderful idea. And it's probably what I'm going to do for the Pegasus Lord. Okay, so how do you want the heraldry to be applied to the horse? Do you want it to be like straightforward, just copy the field onto the fabric, or do you want it to be like front half blue, back half yellow, opposite blue and yellow? Faz, now you're here. Can you quickly do something for me? Can you redeem the Pegasus Knight again, please? Hopefully it should let you. And, well, Mick, it's like with your heraldry, it's fairly simple and tidy. The same way you did it before, Faz. You know, spend the grapes to get it. You should be able to. There we... No, not for a Knight of the Realm. A Pegasus Knight. It's okay. Yes, because I'm trying to make sure the points and stuff actually line up, because I reduced the points of everything. So you aren't scammed out of your points. Says not available. Okay. Let me just edit it again. Okay, try now. And front blue, back yellow. Okay. There we go. Now, I should be able to then pause that and have a list of who's redeemed it. Okay, cool. Also, if you want to, you can also decide to spend the points to make me paint one of my Men-at-Arms units in your heraldry as well. Because it should be within the points. So far... oh, that's a point. Mick, you need to decide what unit of Men-at-Arms you want as well. The other spearman. Okay, cool. We'll do that. Select that. Transform and scale. What? Man, it's... Why is the font this? Okay. Yeah, it's not a royal blue because I want it to be a little bit more ocean-y coloured, like kind of like a bit more like the sea. Rather than just like straight up blue. So I think that's a bit more of an interesting twist. But it's more blue. I think to most people it should look blue. But it does have a little bit of green to it. From like how I'm seeing it anyway. I don't think I'm colorblind. At least not that drastically. But yeah. Cool, so... Alright, so currently, in terms of point redemptions to do, we have all of our Pegasus Knights. So Phasmatodius, Bensidius, and Hamish as our 3 Pegasus Knights. We currently only have 1 Knight for realm, so there's still 11 more to go. Whether or not my example Knight gets used or not is yet to be seen. And we still have the archers to have their colour scheme come up with as well, so that's 1 more Men-at-Arms redemption. Aberrant. Yes, it did. So we'll do yours next, and then worry about why the music's having a hissy fit. Well, it's the men you've brought to the army with you. So for Men-at-Arms redemption, it's your army. Well, you as a knight plus your Men-at-Arms. So for the examples of Hamish and Mick, so Hamish will have his Pegasus Knight with his heraldry, and then his Men-at-Arms will also be his Men-at-Arms also have a colour scheme based off his knightly heraldry applied as well. Same with Mick to the other unit of Men-at-Arms. Okay, so Aberrant, I think you're next. So, is there a heraldry here which stands out to you as like a good basis or inspiration? So a reminder, this is Hamish's. I am actually going to quickly go and edit it to try and fix the yellow. See if I can. There we go. And the same with as... Okay. Okay, so that's Hamish's, that's Faz, that's Mix. That's one I came up with for fun. That one's Mix, isn't it? I'm already starting to forget, but yeah. Are there any of which stand out to you as like a cool basis, Aberrant? I have an idea, but I'd like either half. That diagonal red. Oh, and so this one here, the white on top and then the white diamonds? Or this red? This red and white diagonal one. I'm so... Underneath the plus sign. Oh dear god, okay. I'm going to assume you mean this one, right? This is one I'd say was underneath the plus sign. Okay, so how are we adding blue or yellow to this one? So the field or the division has to be blue or yellow. Happily. Okay, so one of these colors has to be blue or yellow. That's blue on the right. Right one. Return to Poland. It's so like that, Aberrant? Before we accidentally hearts fire and fall this. Oh god, it's a Hoffenheim badge. Okay. Do you want any heraldic symbols on this? Oh, good. TSG Hoffenheim's symbol is the opposite way around. Good. There's a football team with a very similar heraldry to this. Always wondering what I'm talking about with Hoffenheim. I'll quickly throw a picture on my Discord server for those wondering. Yes, please. I'm thinking either yellow anchor crab or the return of the lobster. I feel like it has to be a lobster if you're gonna say that. Really? I mean, it's not an option. Okay. Why is it in the bugs category? Okay. Okay, and what color do you want this lobster to be? Assuming you want the lobster. Yellow lobster, okay. Okay, so where's the crab? Because I've definitely seen the crab. I'm just going to assume it could be anywhere. Also gives you guys a good opportunity to briefly have a look through the different look, there's some fish in here. Like in the beasts. But the... There's an interesting one there. Conventional. I mean, if you really want a crab, I can go and try and find a crab symbol. Not right now, but I could in future. But yeah. Are you happy with that, Brent? Or is there anything else you'd like to add or change? Yeah, sure. Right, so the lobster is considered a bug. Let's remember that. And yeah, that's what the anchor looks like. Obviously we can... Oh, now I'm torn. Yeah, we can also reposition and like fine tune it. Lobster was on the Imperial Night. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? I think that's a bit more sensible size whilst we wait. Oh god, it's just occurred to me I need to paint a banner in Hamish's colour scheme. Fuck. That's not going to be fun. Blue lobster in for white section. Sure. Right. Bugs, because that's where a lobster apparently is. And we need to put it in VG position. Where's M? Makes more sense. What if we do that? What do you think of that idea? Or do you prefer the anchor to be yellow? Also, I cockroaches. Huh. I feel like the anchor is still bigger than the lobster, though. Please step it in a bit. No, but yeah, I think that look works. Photoshop time. Well, I mean, you could, like, your knight could be, you know, of Canal's nobility at some point. That could be what's happened. White front, blue back. Yeah, that's something I am very, very happy to be doing. That's very nice and easy. I like that decision. And the stirrups blue as well. When it comes to painting the knight, I will go and poke people again, like how they want the heraldry to be applied. Hey Solitaire, how's it going? I mean, it could be, you know, it's like you were like a member of like the Duke of Canel's family. You married a lady who owned land in Bordello, and well, or like your ancestors did. And so you've kept the heraldry, but the actual like symbol of you has adapted to the fact you now your family now lives on the coast. And so, yeah, it's one of the things with the Knights of Bordello, where chances are they did their errantry quests at sea on a boat rather than on horseback. So I'm probably not going to have any knight errants as well. Okay, so Max, are you still here? Yep, cool. I think you're next, aren't you? Pegasus Knight, Pegasus Knight, Pegasus Knight. Mick, first, so because I need to make a note of this. Is Nick still around here? Cool. Well, I can tag him in chat. Just so I can try and keep my bookkeeping as in order as possible. Although for Aberrant as well, who would you like your knight to be? A banner bearer, a champion, or a musician, or would you be happy with just a standard knight? I also have a knight who's carrying a bird of prey as well in the Knights of the Realm. Not that that has like any like effect on like the model in terms of gameplay. But in terms of like model options. Although I will say if Mick wants the bird of prey, then he gets that first. He gets a priority call on that one, as he was the first one to choose a Knight of the Realm. Faz is a Pegasus Knight. Okay, so Solitaire's redeemed a Knight of the Realm as well. Okay. We need to Mick to decide who he wants as a model. And then Aberrant, Max, and Solitaire can. But right, whilst we're waiting, Max, it is your turn to design a heraldry. So let's hop back over. Are there any that stand out to you? It's like also you asked for a quick briefing. So, this is the Dukedom of Bordello that we're focusing around. So this is a medieval kingdom which is very much closely tied to the ocean. The Dukedom of Bordello is mostly coastal. However, there are large amounts of vineyards, so places where they make wine, across the inland areas, and there is also a forest, which is notably absent of wood elves and has many Bretonnian settlements in. So in terms of like places you'd reasonably see knights having land over, it would either be a portion of the coast, a vineyard, or a bit of a forest, in those kinds of order of priority. So coastal, vineyard, forests. We're pretty unlikely in this army, because we're focusing around the city of Bordello, see any of the Knights of the Forest of Arden. But we would likely see ones on the coast, parts of the city, or of the or the vineyards surrounding. So those are like the kinds of three things to keep in mind. The colours of Bordello are blue and yellow, which is why everyone choosing colours has to have at least blue or yellow as the main colours of their heraldry, to try and keep it somewhat in theme. Also, just because I'm terrible with names, Mick, is your name over on YouTube Connor? Just so I can try and keep track of this. I think it is, isn't it? Are there any of the shields that are currently on screen that you like as like a reference point, Max? So this one here, the one with the red and yellow stripes for the castles and the yellow anchors on the blue, this is my made-up one. This one here we just made. For Aberrant. I'm thinking top right. This one, the blue wavy water, the white diamonds. Okay. What would you like to change on it, if anything? Obviously, if you're happy with it as it is, then that's great. If not, then what would you like to change about it? Right. Mick, do you want your knight to be the champion, musician, banner bearer, or would you like to have the model which has a bird of prey as a hunting falcon? Whilst we wait for Max to get back to me. Okay, one of the champions is... would you like the champion with a Pegasus? Or with antlers on his helmet? Adams. Good choice. Alright, I'm just going to quickly start writing names on the bases. So I can start remember who's who when it comes to the knights. Okay. It says, why I have a collection of Sharpies? So, can we take off the diamonds? Yeah. No. There we go. Sorry, I had to disappear for a second. No worries. Aberrant, in the units of the Knights of the Realm, who would you like yours to be? So we have 2 banner bearers, well, standard bearers left. We have 2 musicians left, a champion, and a guy holding a bird. Serpent. Oh, we have the that serpent. I'll turn it red for now, just for the sake of visibility. Standard. Okay. Do you want the serpent... do you want the knight which has an eagle on his head? Or one which has a gargoyle holding a sword on his head? Aberrant. I'll go with the eagle. Okay. God, this one's going to be a nightmare to paint. mean, the eagle does look pretty cool. Okay. Right. Max. Are you happy with the placement of the serpent? Do you want to try any other options? Because there is the snake as well, I think. Although, at a larger scale, it kind of looks a bit dumb. In my personal opinion. Like, this has scaled poorly and has changed the expression to look like vacant. Like vacant and sinister, but why is it not letting me change it? I don't want to. Oh boy. Please don't tell me it's actually crashed. That's going to be really awkward. Please tell me it hasn't crashed, because I'd really like to be able to keep the references up. I mean, I've made a point of this is why I made a point of saving them. Well, that's going to be annoying, because I won't be able to get like a nice wall of Yeah, that's annoying. Okay. I won't be able to have like a nice image of all of them for now. But we can go back in and remake it. It's fine. I like how it's saved for colours, though. So fantastic. There we go. We can try. Well, it certainly wants stars. Let's change that to T and F. Can we spread those out? No, we can't. Okay. Up above the waterline. Okay. Can I do A and C on its own? This is giving me very strong high elf vibes. Thinking about it. I'll get a drink and then lie down. Yeah. Yes, I could do with getting a drink. Maybe 1 star? Where do you want it, Max? I mean, but the bigger concern is not the overdose, it's playing Overwatch. Um, but, no, so where do you want the star to be, Max? If I bring the letters up, that might be a bit more helpful as a reference. I mean, it's okay, Solitaire, no one's perfect. Okay, it's not lining up evenly. Well, they are like symmetrically distant away. It's just in terms like because of the snake being as wide as it is. Yeah, we can try 1 star left of the head. And 2 more center. Over side serpent. I'm not sure I understand what you mean. Okay, if you can, I think the easiest way to do it is explain to me where you want the stars based on here. Great. Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with this. This actually looks quite cool. It's given me very strong high elf vibes. And again, it's like because I have every intention of making a high elf detachment, I quite like that. That's a good thing. So if you're happy with that, then I'll send it. And by send it, I mean save it. I mean, if you wanted to make it like violently French, I suppose you could. But I wouldn't say it is at the moment. Alright, let's... grab the heraldry in. Okay, how do we split this up? So blue and white. So Aberrance is already white at the front, blue at the back. Paz is blue with the white, or weird, like diagonal stripes going across it. So it could be like blue, all blue on the left, or white on the right. Oh, I suppose that always explains politics. Or it could be like, you know, blue and white quartered. So this front half, front left blue, front right white, and then opposite. And that as well. I'm just going to make a quick note on Aberrance. So I remember when it comes to painting them. Blue and white quartered. Okay. What do you want the lead quarter to be? White or blue? On this side. So it's white, so yes, it'll be blue, that'll be blue. Okay, and what we'll do is, Solitaire, you still here? No, it's, with Solitaires, like, there's going to be a lot of stuff like this. So the fact that yours is, blue and white quartered is going to look fine. Because, you know, on the opposite side it'll be blue at the front, white at the back. And that's going to look good. Like, even if they're in, like, the same unit and, like, stood, like, well, lance and shield of each other, like, it's still going to look fine. Lance and shield is, like, left, like, side by side. For those who don't know. Right. It's, assuming Max is okay with this, it's going to be your turn to decide a heraldry. So, first off, are there any here on the screen which stand out to you as something you like as the basis of yours? A polite reminder that things like this that have like the grid or this like stupid like decoration around the cross, I am not doing. Because that's far too complex. And that's going to be reserved purely for Grail Knights. And Dukes and Lords. Of which a Knight of the Realm is absolutely not. And I will also say that this will be the last of the knights I'm designing tonight. But yeah. So, of the ones on screen, Solitaire, are there any that stand out to you as something you like the look of? A reminder that we are leaning towards ocean colors, well, ocean themes, and everything has to have blue and or yellow on it, which the rat does fit. Is there anything you want to change on this heraldry? So we can change the color of the rat. We could add like no, it works. Like he could be a knight of like a piece of land within the city of Bordeaux, which would be quite fitting and funny. So we can have like different divisions. I'm just going to change it to blue for an example. And the rat can also be different colours as well. And just not green. Right, okay. We can also add ordinary, so like different like stripes as well. In the background. Have yeah. So it's a thing with Bordello, because of how original old Warhammer is. Like I mentioned, most of Bordello, in terms of like the land outside of the city, is covered in vineyards. Wine is the most common drink other than water by a significant margin. And it's incredibly cheap to buy Bordello wine in Bordello. So even the peasantry can afford to drink wine in Bordello. So it's very common to see drunk people in Bordello. I will change it back to blue for a second. So if there's any like of these pattern designs you like the look of, like including like any of these. And surely it should be do you want the Swedish flag? For fuck's sake. It's annoying that this completely abides by all of the rules. Imagine it Ratatouille, but if it was Swedish. It's just like set in like a really just like monochrome, depressing little fishing village. And it's just about how to like fillet fish properly. And instead of Ratatouille, it's just meatballs. Ah, fuck. Is this what you want it to be, Solitaire? True. The thing is, his creative processes are normally quite good, because he's edited like half of my videos for me. Okay, fine. I'm gonna have a Swedish rat night. I forgot to actually put whose this was. Right, Solitaire. You guys can't even be mad because it works for Solitaire as well. Like, not necessarily the Swedish thing, but, the rat. How do you want the colours to be applied to your horse? So you can use the blue and yellow as like the idea of like having, you know, front half white, back half blue, blue and yellow quartered. With mix, it was front blue, rear yellow. So that's kind of off the table. Or if you really want that, we can do that. Front half yellow, black half. Yeah, actually, I like that idea. We can go with that. What color do you want the reins to be? That's what the collar thingy is. It's for reins. Well, to be yellow and bed. You mean like that? Because that's just that. It's like, unless you're really, really set on having the same color scheme as Mick, we're not doing it. Okay, invert it. Okay. Okay. Right, Solitaire. Um, do you want your knight to be a champion, a banner bearer, or a musician, or a regular knight? I'll give you one guess before I give my answer. I feel like you'd probably choose musician. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards. Okay. So next question. Do you want a bowl cut or long flowing hair? I feel like you choose bowl cut because funny. Yeah. Alright. Good night, fans. And yeah, with that, I think that is actually going to be a good night for me as well, because I think we're done with this page. And we're done with people's redemptions for now. I just let me select the text and paint it black. There we go. So, our first unit of knights. And I've got to say, with the exception of Hamish, I'm impressed with you lot. You guys have chosen knight colour schemes that look quite good and won't be an absolute nightmare to paint. I really need to make one of those memes, you know, it's like the thank you for your, not you, contribution. Memes. Just everyone but Hamish. Because I mean, they all look like they could quite easily be in a lance together as well, which is quite nice. So, yes, as always, guys, if you've enjoyed watching, make sure to join my Discord server. And make sure to hit follow as well. Every Wednesday, we spend time doing old world related stuff. At the moment, we're preparing to actually paint my Bretonnian army, which is the Bretonnian starter box. So all of these knights that you see on screen, these colours will be applied to my knights. And made a point to list under each name whose is that, and also what type of knight they are. And I've also gone and sharpied on as and when we've had like a specific person ask for a particular unit, whose that is. So make sure that I don't forget who's got which knight. So, yeah. Alright. Oh, chilling as well. You guys didn't meet the goal for the maid outfit stream. Which I'm rather thankful of, to be honest. I don't really want to put that on again. So yeah, I'll come up with a new goal. For you guys to try and meet some new challenges for you. And yeah, we'll see what we do tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm not sure what's going to be on the list. It might be, you know, we carry on with this. If not, yeah. It'll be a Discord poll regardless. Whether you want to see more of this, or MechWarrior 5, or Warhammer Total War, or MechWarrior Online, it'll be up to you tomorrow. So yeah, make sure to join the Discord server. Yeah, right. Thanks everyone for watching. Hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you all tomorrow. One day, I know it's been like 18 months for me doing, oh, more like 20 months for me doing this now. And I will get around to learning how to do outros properly. Anyway,